Welcome to Book Time with Ryan. I am Ryan, and today I'll be giving you a tour of my thumbnails that I've used over the year. Now, I don't do a whole lot of planning on my channel. One of the few areas that I actually do plan for are thumbnails. Whenever I'm inspired, motivated, whatever, I come up with a thumbnail many times before I start the book. You're going to see some of that. I'm going to give some explanations with the voiceovers. I'm going to try to do a voiceover. I've never done it before. I'm going to try that today. Now, like the first, 12 maybe videos that I ever did, I just used a thumbnail that was auto-created, and they're horrible. And I didn't really know how to add my own thumbnail. Eventually I did, and you'll see that I have red and blue for the first, maybe 10, maybe less than 10 thumbnails, because I thought I would kind of brand it with that color. That wasn't a great idea. Eventually, I started making different thumbnails for every video that looked different, and I think that was better. Now, I use an app on my phone called PixArt. PixArt is something you have to pay for after a certain amount of time. Every time I get to the point where I have to pay for the app, I delete it from my phone, and then I reload it, and I can use it again. It limits what I can use in the app, but I do everything on my phone. I record on my phone. I use iMovie to edit the videos, and I use PixArt for my thumbnails. So I have a fairly limited capacity to do stuff, but I think it comes out okay. So I'm going to try to do a voiceover. I don't know how much time I should give for each thumbnail, probably somewhere between 10 and 20 seconds. I'll try to fill that space, but each thumbnail that I do, I feel like has gotten more complex, more deliberate, more thought out. And I think unless you've read some of these books, there are going to be things that you've missed. Now, it's not like these things are overly complex. It's a thumbnail. When I first started doing it, I just had a thumbnail at the beginning of my videos. Then I switched to have kind of bookended my videos with thumbnails. Generally the same thumbnail at the beginning and the end. Sometimes a little different. Sometimes it would zoom in. Then I started adding music, and in a couple rare circumstances, I've actually kind of had something happen in the middle of the thumbnail. But again, I'm pretty limited on what I can do. I will take you through a number of my thumbnails from the first 100 videos or so. There are actually going to be a couple thumbnails in this tour of thumbnails that I haven't even used yet, but I have them prepared. Like I said, I do my thumbnails oftentimes before I've even started the book, once I'm just kind of motivated and I have an idea. A lot of my thumbnails are based off of what happens in the book. So I may start with an idea for a thumbnail, and then when I've read the book or gotten through part of the way through the book, I make changes to the thumbnail. So I hope you enjoy this. I saw this on Jim's Books Reading and Things. Jim's Books Reading and Stuff. I will include a link to Jim's channel. Jim, thanks for the inspiration for doing something like this. This was a trip to the Eastern Shore of Maryland. It was the first time I added a thumbnail with the red and the blue. Pretty simple design, but once I realized I could do that, I started expanding to other designs. Next in the evolution of thumbnails was this book haul that has the red and the blue again, but I actually photoshopped myself in there twice for some reason on top of a picture of Jaws. Again, red and blue, same kind of pictures. I photoshopped my face that I posed. I don't know why. This was a rough video where I accidentally deleted a bunch of stuff and had to re-record. Sticking with the red and blue still, it's a wrap-up of when I read Jaws, but I finally started getting a little more creative with the picture. Here's my glasses on top of a megalodon tooth. This is, again, red and blue. Hopefully that'll change soon. This is basically a vlog I did on vacation, which I don't recommend doing. Just enjoy vacation. But red and blue added to a picture I took of a horseshoe crab. I thought the world would really care about my bookshelf tour, so I started teasing it with this red and blue on top of my bookshelf kind of short video. No one cared. I should have just done the video without a tease, but live and learn. Here I explain my feelings. Again, red, white, and blue this time. But I used different fonts and a picture I had from the video. Nothing great. but we're getting close to the end of the red, white, and blue text. Same color scheme, but here I actually photoshopped the cover of Jaws onto a picture of me driving my parents' boat. So it's getting a little more creative, but still it's pretty conservative, I think, as far as thumbnails go. Jaws the Revenge vlog. I tried to edit it so it looked like I was in the water. Not a great job. Still the red and the blue. My daughter did a voiceover for the beginning, which is very cool. But nothing special here. This is a sad video when we had to put our dog down. It was a little update on what was going on in my life. Pretty emotional video, I think, but I wanted to keep the thumbnail simple. Just a picture of Gracie with a clue that it's about updates. My bookshelf tours ended up being way too long to have in one big video, so I cut them up into little pieces. This was the main picture, and then I added a description at the bottom of what each smaller tour was about. I feel like this is the turning point for my thumbnails. I switched up the text, the font. I wasn't using red and blue. I also did a lot of Photoshop with my face onto a sperm whale body and made it blue, so I really like this. For this tag, I pulled different images and really photoshopped multiple images on top of each other. So I was Loki as a crocodile alligator. It was more complex, didn't get a whole lot of play, but I felt like it was in the right direction. This is the first thumbnail where I really used an image from the book as the main thumbnail and photoshopped my head onto it. And this is also the first thumbnail where review shows up. It's not the first review video, but it's the first time I used review in the thumbnail. I think this was a miss. I used a desert scene because I had read The Dry, but I also had read a book about sharks. So it was kind of confusing. I had some idea, but I don't think the execution was there. This one, it kind of has a little bit deeper meaning. My banjo makes an appearance in the video, so I wanted to have a picture with my banjo. But the tag was not about books, so I have bookshelves without books on them. 7 Deadly Sins tag. This picture is kind of a nod to the movie Seven. It's a box. What's in the box? It's my head. A couple good books in there, but just a pretty quick Photoshop job for this one. A little less book-based. This is my memories on the 20th anniversary of the September 11th attacks with a close-up picture of my Coast Guard Academy ring. This is similar to my sounding thumbnail. It's a little more disturbing with a giant nose, but I used a different image of a sperm whale. Sperm whales have giant noses. That's kind of what I was going for here. It just kind of looks creepy, I think. It's one of my more successful reviews, although it doesn't say review, and it's a very basic picture of my Le Carré books. It got a lot of views, though. I think because I filmed it and put it up right after it was released. This is my most successful video. I used an image that came with the book, and then I wanted to make sure that the words Codex Seraphinianus were clear, so I added a little bit of white box around the letters. A lot of times if I don't know what to do with a thumbnail, I'll use the cover of the book that I read. A lot of times that's because the subject matter is so complex, it's just really hard to distill down to one image. So that's what I did here. My second unboxing video, I used an image from a movie that was based off of the book that I unboxed. I just Photoshop my face onto the picture. I like some of these simple thumbnails, and this one I used the white background. I had to look up how to spell knick-knack, and that is a bobblehead of me before I had my beard. So this is really just another tour kind of video. This thumbnail went through a couple iterations. The book was about sperm whales, chimpanzees, and parrots. So I have this hybrid animal that has all three, and I'm riding its back. I wanted this thumbnail for the review to look like the spy had just sat down at a desk to read the book. So he put down his K-bar knife and his Walther P22 and started reading. Another simple design, this book had to do with doctors and bluegrass, banjos, Kentucky. So I have my banjo in the picture, image of the book, and that's my daughter's body with her PJs and my head on top of it. I use the image from Home Alone. I think it's Dirty Angels or something, and it's a gangster kind of book. So that's my head on top of the body and bees coming out where there would be bullets coming out of the Tommy gun. This is a book about a thief by a thief, and I wanted to look like a criminal from the 1920s, so I picked a hat I thought looked like that and have a candy cigarette. Yes, they still make candy cigarettes. I used the image from Outbreak, the movie, put my face in it, and then added a modified book cover to the IV. So it looks like I'm in a hot zone dealing with viruses. This is supposed to be highly inappropriate sex appeal to the extreme thumbnail. That's not my real body, and there's nothing underneath the exposed, but it was really supposed to be clickbait. I'm not sure if it really worked. It didn't work, but it was an attempt. Well, it's a book about the Match King, so I wanted to have a fire. You can see his book sitting there on the table, and it's that meme. He's saying this review is fine because this is a review. For this, I looked up Arabian Nights or some kind of Arabian architecture, and this is what I got, and then I added myself in the little window. I photoshopped myself inside a picture from the Sumar Collection publication. You've seen the picture before. Generally, I'm using pictures from the past that I Photoshop into stuff. I'm not taking pictures now to use. This was an unboxing of Moby Dick, so I did Moby Dick in a box, and it's from an image from Saturday Night Live where I've Photoshopped my face and Herman Melville's face over, I think, Andy Samberg and Justin Timberlake's faces. 2 reviews in one thumbnail. I did a review for Moby Dick and Why Read Moby Dick, but I didn't decide to add that Why Read Moby Dick till later, so it's slightly different color. My face is also Photoshopped in there, and my scrimshaw tooth is Photoshopped. This is a thumbnail from a vlog when we went to Tennessee. I Photoshopped my face on top of Gregory Peck's body from the movie Moby Dick. This is for a book that was the telling of Moby Dick from the point of view of the whale. I used the same image, but now he's looking into a mirror and he kind of sees Moby Dick in himself. This is an old surgery photo, and I Photoshopped my face and either an ice pick or a stiletto for lobotomy. I also based the colors of the text off of the cover of the book. There's an image of a hallway with multiple doors in dark matter. This pulls from that. The actual thumbnail I use in the video is multiple thumbnails with a lot of pictures, so it looks like people are being added to the hallway. This is my body on a whale hitting the whale ship Essex. I'm not thrilled with the way this came out, but it's 2 books being reviewed in one thumbnail, and I kind of went with head on whale body theme. I really kind of phoned this one in. It's an old image, and I just Photoshopped it so it had the subscribers special book and the male booktuber tag book. But I just needed something where I was holding up 2 books. I didn't want to take a picture, so nothing great here. Here is me as the bougie booktuber. I had to look up bourgeoisie clothing, and I added a cake, so let them eat cake, and it's inside a nice library. I also like the text color. This one took a little bit of time. It's the literary dinner party tag. It's pictures of some of my favorite authors and characters from different books. My face also appears in the upper left corner. The unboxing of the first edition, first printing of Jaws. It's a shark in a box on a beach with Jaws written on the side. Pretty straightforward concept there. This is based off a very minor character in Broken, a chimpanzee. I photoshopped my face on the body. He's holding a 38 special, which is from the book. We didn't want to see chimpanzee penis, so he's holding the book in his feet. I used the Schmeagol picture, but I added my glasses and eyes and my beard. And I think he actually looks much more normal, maybe a little drugged out, but fairly normal with a beard and human eyes. A lot of this book takes place in Kazakhstan and Russia, so it's a white collar criminal in front of the Kremlin. I didn't want to put my face on the body of a criminal. This did not turn out like I wanted it to. I was going to do a constellation that spelled review, but it was really hard, so I just typed in review and added stars. It's not great, but the alternative would have just been really hard to do. How do I acquire books? Well, this thumbnail suggests that I probably steal them from Whoville. That's not how I do it. But this is really just about accumulating, so there's my face on the Grinch body. I started doing author spotlights for mostly comic book authors. And I created this template where I can add their photo and their name, since I was going to do a series of them. I extended that concept generally to comic book artists. I wanted to have text that was a little less straight line, but same general concept here. And this is an example of the artist spotlight that I did for Matthias Bergara. He actually sent me this image to use for his spotlight thumbnail, so I really appreciated that, and it's cool since it's an illustration he made. And this is an example of an author spotlight. I did this for Tom King. I actually have two different images that I used, one of another author that he gets confused for sometimes, so it looks kind of animated in the video. This is a timely read. It's about Russia and Putin by Gary Kasparov, the chess master. So it's the Kremlin in nuclear winter, and it's Putin checkmated. It's the hobby tag, so I photoshopped my face on a woman knitting. I think that's knitting. My mom owned a knitting store, so I know that it is a hobby for many, many people. It is not my hobby, but it just made sense here. I was proud of the whale tag. I have a blowhole there under tag. I also use the images of different whales to set up the word whale. I had to resize this. I had to add ocean to the image because I didn't have the right dimensions for the thumbnail. I wasn't a fan of the book, but I like the thumbnail. I used the image from the cover of the book that I have and added my eyes in my glasses. And I tried to get the text to look kind of like the cover of the book. It's my BookTube anniversary tag. I used the up old man, added my eyes and a beard in my hat. And I have it so each year I can change the number on the balloon and update it with a new number. I wasn't really sure what to do with this one, so it's a picture, I think in Rhode Island, where the book takes place, with the book on the beach. I'm also hiding in the bushes with a Pawtucket Red Sox hat on. I used to do that tag. I used some kind of app a long time ago to make myself look older, which I look much older here. And then I put myself in front of a covered wagon because why not? My thumbnail for Ahab's wife includes me on Gregory Peck's body again at the top of a lighthouse with a woman whose face is my younger face, and she's actually wearing the right color dress. This is a pretty basic design. I photoshopped the woman who is the great aunt of the author's image onto a farm. It's basically taken from the book. This is for a short review of Mocha Dick. My face appears in the middle boat. I'm one of the guys towards the front of the boat. It's for my Judge Red video. I put my face on the Judge Dredd body and then just added some words to kind of describe it. It's a little jumbled, I think. I don't love it. This is the genre-less speaking book tag. I photoshopped my face on top of Alanis Morissette's face from the music video for whatever the song's called about Isn't It Ironic, Don't You Think? I photoshopped my head from a wedding picture onto a Scrivener's body, and this was actually missized, so I had to cut it down a little bit more, and that's why the words are so close to the edge. This is from my 100 BookTube videos tag. That's original. I wanted it to kind of look like 300, so that's a body from 300 that I put my face in one of my most prized books. But the 100 is not the same text, or not the same font as 300. I had this tag. I wanted to look like something that reminded me of England, so I picked a king. He's actually holding two English books that are some of my favorites. For Namen, I had to edit out a shark fin, and you can kind of see that around the 4. There's little lines, and then added the 4, and it's a reference to something that happens in the book. Gregory Peck's body makes another appearance, but so does his head. This is an unboxing of a book about the creation of that movie, and I photoshopped my body in there and my head, but nothing too special. I really wasn't sure what to do with this video, so I kind of phoned it in. Wisdom of the Crowds, it's a crowd picture. I edited it so there's a little different color and kind of digitized it a little bit, but I just really didn't know what to do with this book. Mid-year freakout tag, I added my photo to the image from the Joker and made it transparent enough that you could see some of the makeup through my face. My Father's Day book haul is one of my favorite thumbnails because that is me and my daughter. We were on vacation walking down a boardwalk, and I just love how happy she is in it. The Moonborn is a retelling of Moby Dick, but on the moon. So I used an image of a sperm whale, but where the eye is, I added an image of the moon. Pretty basic, pretty straightforward, but I like the way it turned out. This one took a while. It's all the books that I have on whales, and it's photoshopped on top of a water scene. And there's also my scrimshaw tooth, sperm whale tooth, that I added to it at the last minute. I like the way it turned out, but it was hard. Ahab's Rolling Sea is nonfiction, so I wanted to look like a professor talking about sperm whales. That's what I'm doing there. It's actually talking about Moby Dick. And the picture is from Ahab's Rolling Sea. It came from the book. The 2022 Summer Book Bay tag. I looked up Bay, and I found that character. I think she's from Pokemon, maybe. She's holding Close to Shore, one of the books I recommended, and then I photoshopped my face. This had a lot of references to the book. I'm a little Swiss boy holding a banjo. There's a nice expensive dog next to a pig with a human eye. We're in the Alps, and there is a waterfall in the background. All references to things from the book. It was already mentioned in an unboxing, but this is the review that I did. That image of the whale is from the 1956 movie Moby Dick, and it's in front of the Custom House in Dublin, Ireland, where the book takes place. This is for a non-fiction book about bees, so I had to use a bee movie image, added my head to it, and a little pinroll symbol. Although the book wasn't really about honeybees, and I'm pretty sure the bee in that movie was a honeybee. One of the books that I mentioned in this tag is The Purple Land that England Lost, which is about gauchos in Uruguay. So I photoshopped my face on a gaucho body and then photoshopped the gaucho body in front of a bunch of cows on Estancia. I wasn't too sure what to do with this thumbnail, but there is a postal truck involved in the book, and it's about delivering babies, so I added a stork, and they are in a field in Minnesota on a reservation. This is for a book I'm currently reading. I'm going to do a vlog on. I'm kind of doing it in 2 parts. Ship of Theseus, where I'm going to read the text from the book, and then S, when I'm going to read the comments in the margins and the other images that are inserted. I'm going to do another bookshelf tour in 2022, so I'm using a similar image, although this is the updated look of my bookshelves. And there will be more descriptions at the bottom of the thumbnail as I do the different parts of the tour. The final thumbnail for my tour of thumbnails is the thumbnail for this video. I didn't use all the thumbnails as the background, but I tried to. I just ran out of room. So you will not get any music at the end of this video, just me talking about thumbnails. and the final thumbnail about thumbnails. Thanks for being here today. Have a good one.